After everything I've done for you, you can't just do this one single thing for me? That sentence can turn gratitude into a debt you never agreed to carry. The late-night call they answered for you, the shift they covered, the money they lent you when you were broke. You can appreciate all of it without surrendering to that request or an unrelated decision. Your first response should be, I appreciate what you did, but I didn't agree that it bought this decision. That is the first move in what we will call the false debt protocol. You are not denying that they did the favor. You are separating appreciation from an agreement. Healthy reciprocity is freely chosen or clearly agreed upon. And leverage begins when the price appears only after you say no. And their response to that no tells you whether the favor is now being treated as leverage. This is not simply someone feeling hurt by your choice. They are claiming they have already paid for your yes and feel you have no rights to say no. I'll give you 4 responses for stopping that false debt, including what to say when they double down and accuse you of being selfish or ungrateful. Now, imagine a coworker covered your shift when you had an emergency. You thanked them. You may even have offered to return the favor. 3 weeks later, they arrive late and ask you to tell the manager they were there on time. You refuse. They respond, "Seriously? I can't believe you won't do this. I covered for you when you needed me." Notice what just happened. The original favor is no longer being discussed as kindness. It is being presented as payment for your cooperation in a totally different situation. The pressure works because you feel forced to choose between 2 identities. 1, either you comply, or 2, become the ungrateful person who forgets what others have done. Do not accept either preframe. Say this instead: I appreciate what you did, but I didn't agree that it bought this decision. The first sentence acknowledges reality. You are not pretending they never helped you. The second sentence restores the boundary. Their previous kindness did not automatically purchase your judgment, honesty, time, or an automatic consent to some future unknown request for favor. Keep the line short and to the point. Do not add, "And I was going through a lot that day, and I already thanked you, and I covered for you twice last month." Don't over-explain. See other videos on this channel about over-explaining. Because the longer your explanation becomes, the more material they have to dispute. They can challenge every detail while the false debt remains untouched. Showing your appreciation answers past kindness. Your current decision must answer the present situation. Treat them as separate questions, separate situations, separate request, because sometimes they will make the alleged debt sound even more obvious to increase the pressure. They may say, "You knew I would need something eventually." Or, "You didn't think I was doing all that for nothing, did you?" Or, "This is how relationships work." At that point, do not argue about whether you have been generous enough. Ask for the agreement. Say, "I want to make sure I didn't miss something. What did we agree I would owe you when you offered this?" That opening matters. Saying, "I want to make sure I didn't miss something." This lowers the temperature without surrendering to their pressure, because you are literally giving them an opportunity to identify an actual agreement. Listen carefully to what they say next. Then, separate these 4 things most people often blurs together. Because a loan, it has a repayment terms, an exchange. It has an understood return, a favor. While it may inspire reciprocity, usually no specific price is explicitly established. And leverage. This one may suddenly appears when an unrelated price is introduced to you because you resist a new request. Take, for example, a family member was to help you with rent during a very difficult month. If you agreed to repay $500, then repay it. But that agreement does not automatically give them authority to choose your partner, enter your home without permission, or decide where you work. A legitimate debt has boundaries. A false debt keeps expanding. If the person cannot identify what you agreed to, you may see them shift away from the facts. They may say stuff like, "I shouldn't have to explain it. You know what you owe me." Or, I guess I expected you to be a better person. That shift matters because the conversation has moved from an alleged agreement to a judgment about your character. And sometimes, when the dead argument stops working, the person switches to hurt feelings. They may say, I guess I know how little I mean to you. That is a control move. It is why recognizing a wounded performance matters. See our previous videos on this. Once you recognize this wounded performance, then your next job is to keep the request from becoming a trial of your character. Say, for example, a friend supported you through a painful breakup. Months later, they ask you to lend them money you cannot really afford to lose. So you say no. They answer, wow, I listened to you every single night for weeks. I guess this friendship really is one-sided. Now the argument is no longer about the loan. Instead, your entire friendship has suddenly been placed on trial. The natural tendency is to defend your good record. You start listing the rides you gave, the meals you bought, and every single time you answered their calls. Do not enter that courtroom. If you enter that courtroom to prove you're a good friend, the other person becomes the judge, and your no becomes their evidence. Say, you can be disappointed with my answer if you want to, but I'm not accepting that saying no makes me ungrateful. This line does not tell them how they are allowed to feel. They can be disappointed. They can wish you had answered differently. What they cannot do is convert that disappointment into an objective verdict about your character. A no is a decision. Ungrateful is an accusation. Those are not the same thing. If they respond with, so now I'm the bad person, do not switch roles and begin reassuring them for 10 minutes. Return to the issue. I'm not assigning anyone a character. I'm answering this request. That keeps the interaction behavior first. You are not diagnosing them. You are not proving yourself. You are refusing to let an unrelated favor decide the present question. The fourth response is for the person who keeps collecting after you have answered. Maybe a partner supported you financially during a difficult period. Now every disagreement ends with, remember who was there when you had nothing. Perhaps the support was real. Your gratitude may also be real. But gratitude cannot remain sincere if it becomes a way to bypass your no. Say, if your help comes with conditions, tell me before I accept it. My answer to this request is still no. Deliver this line flatly. This is not a mic drop moment. You are closing a ledger, not starting a fire. Do not emphasize still no as a taunt. State it as a fact. You are establishing two boundaries. The future boundary is disclosure. Tell me the conditions before I accept the help. The present boundary is closure. My answer to this request has not changed. If they repeat the accusation, use the final line. I've answered the request. I'm not reopening it as a dead argument. Then stop. Do not add a closing speech. Do not produce another defense of your character. Do not wait for them to certify that your boundary was fair. A closed conversation may still feel emotionally unfinished. That does not mean it is practically unfinished. If the person controls your employment, housing, finances, or immediate safety, use judgment. A perfect sentence is not more important than your security. Document what is happening. Speak with someone trustworthy. Seek appropriate workplace, financial, legal, or safety support when necessary. The protocol is designed to restore choice, not pressure you into a confrontation that puts you at risk. The reason we use this protocol is to protect real gratitude, not to destroy it. If you lose the ability to say no, you lose the ability to give a sincere thank you. Returning kindness is healthy. Naturally, helping someone because they once helped you can strengthen a relationship. And if you made a clear agreement, honor it. But appreciation should influence a free decision, not replace your ability to make one. Someone can also feel disappointed by your answer without deliberately trying to control you. The relevant question is not, is this person a manipulator? The useful question is, are they now using an old favor to claim authority over an unrelated decision? That keeps your attention on conduct you can observe. When a favor is presented as an invoice, remember the four responses. First, I appreciate what you did, but I didn't agree that it bought this decision. Second, I want to make sure I didn't miss something. What did we agree I would owe you when you offered this? Third, you can be disappointed with my answer. I'm not accepting that saying no makes me ungrateful. And fourth, if your help comes with conditions, tell me before I accept it. My answer to this request is still no. If they continue, say, I've answered the request. I'm not reopening it as a debt argument, because a real agreement can be named before the favor is accepted. A false debt appears only when your answer disappoints the person collecting it. Gratitude can influence your choice. It should not erase your right to make one. And if the debt argument turns into wounded silence, injured expressions, or claims that your boundary proves you do not care, watch the following on-screen video next. It will show you what to do when the invoice fails and the emotional performance begins. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more pragmatic briefs. See you in the next video.